As an Ansys partner since 1984, we are highly committed to helping you design, simulate, and succeed.
Hello everyone. Today we'll be talking about associativity between Creo and Ansys Fluent using Ansys Discovery as an intermediary. This process is going to allow you to solve an initial design within Fluent and then make design changes in Creo without losing any of the prep work done when setting up your CFD analysis in Fluent. In this model, we have flow through a duct with a fan and fan shroud in that ductwork. The geometry consists of a duct body, the fan, and an MRF boundary which separates the rotating and stationary regions. Let's say we've already done our first pass of this analysis. In our first design, we took the geometry into Ansys Discovery, applied our name selections for our flow boundary conditions, as well as applied shared topology to create watertight regions of space. We passed that over to Fluent Meshing, where we used the watertight geometry workflow to create a very highly efficient mesh. We brought that into the solver, set up our boundary conditions, and solved our model. We looked over the results and saw that while the performance was good, we'd really like to improve it. Now, one thing we may want to do back within Creo is change the diameter of the fan shroud. Let's say we saw a lot of backflow around the tip of the fan blades, and we'd like to reduce the gap between the tips and the shroud. I've already got a design change lined up, so keep your eye on the center of the screen as I activate the cut, and you'll see the shroud move closer to the fan tip. At that point, we can save the geometry, and then with Discovery, we can use the history tracking feature in order to update the geometry from Creo. I'll switch to the wireframe view here really quick and zoom in on the gap between the tip and the shroud. And then as I update the geometry from Creo and switch back to wireframe again, you can see the significant reduction in the gap there between the tip and the shroud. At this point, we can hit the play button and it'll recreate all of the modifications we did within Discovery, creating our name selections and shared topology. That file can then be passed back to Fluent Meshing. It will reuse all of our setup and mesh controls from our last design. We'll generate our new mesh and replace the mesh in the solver. We don't lose any of our boundary conditions or physics settings. We just use what's set up previously, just replacing the mesh, continue solving, and then get our results on that new design. Comparing the results between the two designs, after we reduced the gap between the tips and the shroud, we were in fact able to reduce the backflow that was happening around the tips of the blades, and we were able to increase performance of the fan, creating a 12% larger vacuum for the same flow rate and fan speed. If you'd like more information on associativity between Creo and Ansys, we have a recorded webinar on our website covering the same process in more detail, as well as the associative workflow between Creo and Ansys Mechanical. You can find this and other webinars on our website by following the link below.
Contact us today to discuss your unique physics challenges and find the right Ansys tools for you.